They vanished without a trace. They hid the evidence. But every secret has a file. The truth is hidden. We find it.
Millions of people visit Alcatraz every year, taking a short ferry ride across San Francisco Bay to walk through sun-drenched ruins and listen to recorded tours of the cell blocks. Our collective memory of this island is shaped by decades of cinema, depicting an ironclad fortress designed to house the nation's most dangerous men behind inescapable walls. This public image was fed by the press, who obsessively tracked celebrity inmates like Al Capone. These high-profile stories served a specific purpose. They kept the public eye fixed on the residents rather than the prison's internal operations. Behind this polished, legendary status lay a darker operational reality, hidden away from the cameras and the headlines of the time. Federal records and inmate accounts suggest the island's primary directive went beyond mere containment. The administration utilized environmental design to exert constant psychological pressure on the men held here. The enduring mystery of the island is not how men tried to get out, but how the government managed to operate a site of documented human rights abuses in the middle of a major American harbor for 30 years. The mile-and-a-half of freezing water and dangerous currents provided a physical barrier that also blocked public oversight. This geographic separation allowed the prison to function with almost total independence from mainland scrutiny. Control began at the dock. The process of immediate shackling and the use of harsh transport conditions were intended to force psychological submission the moment a prisoner set foot on the island. Inside the main cell blocks, the architecture removed all sense of privacy. Inmates lived within a rigid, mechanized routine, monitored around the clock in these multi-tiered cages. To maintain order, the administration enforced the rule of silence. For years, prisoners were strictly forbidden from speaking to one another, removing the possibility of social connection or community. This policy turned shared spaces, like the dining hall, into zones of extreme tension. Hundreds of men would eat in total silence, monitored by armed guards, creating an atmosphere of constant psychological strain. These methods, the enforced silence and the rigid architectural controls, served as a long-term experiment in state-sanctioned psychological management. For those who resisted the daily routine, the administration reserved its most severe tool of punishment, the isolation cells of D Block, known to the inmates as the Hole. In D Block, sensory deprivation became the standard. Men were kept in pitch-black steel boxes for days or weeks at a time, enduring freezing temperatures and restricted diets in total isolation. This chart tracks internal data on psychological stability. Records show a direct correlation between isolation tactics and a sharp rise in psychological breakdowns. While the reality was grim, official reports sent to Washington suppressed these numbers, concealing the human cost. This pressure eventually reached a breaking point. The 1946 Battle of Alcatraz was a violent response to these conditions, as inmates engaged in a desperate and bloody uprising against their captors. These events demonstrate how the American justice system operated a facility with zero accountability, testing the limits of human endurance on domestic soil. When the prison closed in 1963, the government cited high operating costs and structural damage from saltwater erosion as primary reasons for its decommissioning. However, the physical decay of the buildings also made the internal conditions increasingly difficult to hide from a modernizing legal system and a more inquisitive press. The closure of the island did not end the practices developed there. Instead, the Alcatraz model evolved into the modern supermax prison system. The tactics of psychological isolation and sensory deprivation tested in D Block were eventually formalized and distributed. Today, dozens of high-security facilities across the country utilize these exact methodologies. Tourists now walk through these cell blocks without realizing they are standing at the origin point of our modern high-security protocols. Alcatraz is officially a park, but its operational shadow continues to define how the justice system manages its most isolated populations today.